Hello again, basketball fans. We welcome you to the Finals Film Room on NBA TV, where we watch it live as it happens with instant analysis from these great analysts. We have former Coach of the Year Mike Fratello, Senior Associate Commissioner of the Big East Conference Stu Jackson, and we have National Champion and 1994 Finals participant Greg Anthony. And despite rampant speculation that Cavs coach Tyronn Lue should bench the struggling J.R. Smith, Lue will start JR in Game 3, and Lue also said he wants the Cavs to be who they are and continue to play fast. So on that note, let's get to our tip-off points, starting with the czar of the telestrator.
For Cleveland, it comes at the defensive end of the floor. They have to be more aggressive, more physical. They have to cut out easy baskets. For example, Golden State has 6 or 7 scores on either an underneath or side out-of-bounds play in Games 1 and 2 combined. You can't have that happen. They're giving up 122 points per game. Golden State shooting 47 from the floor, 40 from the three-point line. Now, there's other things you can do to help your defense. Okay? One is get fouled offensively. You go to the line, it stops the clock, your defense gets sets up. They're not running back at you after a missed long shot. The other thing is force turnovers. Don't give them those extra possessions. You get more than them, have more field goal attempts at the end of the game. That all helps your defense.
Yeah, you know, and if you're Tyronn Lue tonight in the Cavaliers, you have to game plan. You can't plan to play the same game that you did before. You've got to control tempo in Game 3, unlike Games 1 and 2. And the way that you do that, if I'm Tyronn Lue, I want to make sure I utilize the paint area. Maybe give some more touches in the low post to Kevin Love, LeBron James, maybe force a double team, pass it back out. I think also if you're going to control pace in the half court, you can't be the 1 and 2 dribble and shot offense that they showed in the first 2 games. To beat the Warriors defense, that ball needs to move side to side a little bit more than it did in the first 2 games. You know, the Cavs last game only 21 assists on 38 field goals. You know, you contrast that against the Warriors with 31 assists on 39 field goals. Big key to the game. And then lastly, I think being at home for the Cavs, it's going to help them. I expect them to get more loose balls, be a better rebounding team, and create their pace by getting stops and getting out and running.
Yeah, for me, I think if you're the Cavs, you got to be who you are. And while you do want to make some adjustments, the reason you're the defending champs is because you play a certain way. Unfortunately for them, we didn't see it the first 2 games. Coach's point, defensively, mentally, they just were not engaged. They weren't active, they weren't aggressive, they weren't physical, and nor were they focused. All those things have to be on display, and they got to be on display in the first quarter. I think that's going to be real determining in how this game is played in terms of dictating tempo. Remember, they gave up 35 in Game 1, 40 in Game 2, which tells you they weren't engaged defensively. So let's see if they come out with a completely different energy, yet still being the team that has gotten them to the point where they have a chance here to defend their title.
GA has tipped off, Stu has tipped off, and the czar has tipped off, and we are ready for the tip of Game 3 from the Q in downtown Cleveland, rocking as you might expect. And Czar, what we have here is GA saying, do what you do and do it better. Stu is saying you got to change what you've been doing from the Cavaliers' perspective. So what says you in terms of the Tyronn Lue decision here? He says he wants to continue playing fast. What do you say?
I think both of them are right on the money as far as what they're saying. The biggest thing is you can do something at 80%, 90%, or you can max out. And they haven't maxed out yet, in my opinion, the Cavaliers. Maybe their game plan is perfect, but they have to do it better and harder. There have been too many breakdowns, lack of concentration at key times. I don't know if I ever remember 7 scores on an under or side out of bounds play over 2 games. That just doesn't happen.
And we are underway. The Warriors have the rock first. Immediately, they blitz Curry. And Curry's numbers in these finals have been extraordinary. Draymond Green, an early left wing 3 that's off. Curry going 30 points, 8 rebounds, 10.5 assists.
Yeah, he was phenomenal, but you saw that first possession. Defensively, they got Curry on his heels coming off that pick and roll, forced him to swing the ball, and then Draymond unable to convert on the triple.
Ooh, Kyrie Irving with an early bucket, Czar.
When he has a seam and that defender is not squared up to him, he's going by him. And he's terrific at keeping the defender on his side. It's not easy to get back in front of him again.
Zaza Pachulia trying to track down that loose ball and a traveling violation. So far, the Cleveland defense doing their job.
Yeah, and one thing's evident here in the first two possessions. The Cleveland defense is very active, and it's not only their feet, it's their hands. Tyronn Lue's made a decision. He's going to get out and blitz early to get his team aggressive. I think it's a good idea.
Here's J.R. Smith. Oh, how about that? All the conversation. Should he start? Should he come off the bench? Should he be aggressive? Nails the three.
And he should be starting. Again, part of that is a psychological thing if you talk about Tyronn Lue. As soon as you start making those adjustments, you're telling your team, you see Klay knock down a triple, that we're not good enough. No, we just have to be better. And I think that's going to be important in this game. They're not going to win this series if JR and Tristan and those guys don't have a positive impact.
Kind of interesting. Yesterday, they played one-on-one, JR versus Shumpert, before practice and after practice. First time they've done that in a long, long time because they're so concerned about injuries. Yesterday, they went at it against each other.
Good start for Cleveland. And Kevin Durant, his first shot of the game is good.
And there, no connection. LeBron tries to shoot the gap. Draymond, too good of a passer. Perfect read in rhythm for that triple.
But, Greg, you mentioned about Green being a really good passer. You've got to have pressure on the passer. Those hands have to be active. If that ball is up, you've got to get him to turn his back to the court so we can't see. That's all part of the aggressiveness. It's a small piece of the total defense.
And you saw there the screen by Curry just changed LeBron's route, and that allowed Draymond, who read that change of the route, to deliver that on the money.
So according to our research crew tonight, headed up by Kevin Cottrell, there's never been a stat combo like Kevin Durant put up in a finals game ever. That was game 2, 33-13, 6 assists, 5 blocks, and 3 steals. Stu, it's hard to have a better all-around game than that.
Yeah, without question. And the thing that's been most impressive about Durant is his work at the defensive end and rebounding the basketball. It's almost as if you've taken a great player and made him more complete on this Warrior basketball team, and it's been a huge factor in the first 2 games.
J.R. Smith turning the corner, kicking it out to Love. Little fadeaway 3 was off, and a whistle underneath. We're keeping it right here. Zaza Pachulia got his hand caught in the cookie jar, huh?
Yeah, but here again, you know, you look at the Cavs offense again. It's just one pass and a shot, okay? In the first half of the shot clock, the biggest concern I have for the Cavs is that you need less of those and more with more ball movement and shots in that way.
I think part of it, though, too, is when you're an offensive team, which they are, and LeBron with a nice finish there, you don't want to stop taking the rhythm shots. You just want to do a better job of this right here. Your transition defense, running them off that three-point line. Curry, short arms that one, but able to get that offensive rebound. Those are the areas, to me, that are the bigger issue for them. You got to get those. You can't allow Golden State, as great as they are offensively, to out-rebound you on both the offensive and defensive backboards.
Kevin Durant continues to just pour it in. Couple of threes already. J.R. Smith with a fadeaway 3. Czar, this is exactly what the Cavaliers need.
Because Tyronn Lue understands you can't get major productivity unless you have ultimate confidence in your players. If he takes JR out of the starting lineup, takes his confidence away, if Shumpert comes in and lays an egg, now you're going back to a guy who may be hanging his head. Back the guy up, make him feel like, look, I'm your guy, I trust you. Go out there and show us what you can do.
Was that shot too early, Stu?
Yeah, for me it is. I mean, they didn't have numbers coming back. It was a semi-open 3, not a wide-open 3. That's the one you've got to pull it back, get the ball going side to side, and see what you get on the weak side of the floor. Too quick a shot in my eyes.
Yeah, the thing I do like, though, again, the transition from offense to defense. They're able to get back and force a turnover. So they're going to take some quick shots. That's kind of what they do. And they can't get away from it, but what they can't do is compound those misses by not getting back, not being engaged, and not being connected, because we know how deadly Golden State is offensively.
Both teams sizzling from three-point range. And Game 2 was very ironic. The Cavaliers had a playoff low, 8 three-pointers made, and the Warriors, of course, set an NBA Finals record with 18 threes made, and tonight they're meeting on the same page.
Yeah, you know, if you're the Warriors, the one thing you don't want to do early on is fall in love with a three-point shot if you're not shooting it well. So far, they're shooting a high percentage from 3. But the way the Warriors attack the paint is like here, off the drive or off the last possession where you get a good cut and a layup.
LeBron got a little clear space elbow into the chest of Draymond Green. No foul, of course, and a Fast break bucket for LeBron. The Cavs are up by 4. Here's a lob to Durant. Czar, what a catch.
And that's one of those easy baskets that I talked about in the beginning that they can't give up. We've already seen a second shot opportunity, 3. There's a backdoor lob for a layup. All small buckets that add up to the big points they score.
LeBron freed himself with a little shimmy there on Klay Thompson. Hit again. Cleveland up by 4.
Yeah, and again, I don't have a problem pace-wise with Cleveland, but again, they're much better, much more active defensively. And Golden State now is going to have to start doing a little bit better a better job, I should say, of taking care of the basketball.
LeBron James' feet were a little crossed up right there. Airmailed that 3. And J.R. Smith will give the foul on Stephen Curry. And 7:02 to go in the first quarter of Game 3. It is the Cavaliers off to a good start, and they lead by 4.